laugh if like Hangouts is like dog shit tonight. Motherfucker. Oh, here we go. Now we're live. Piece of shit sometimes. You know what? Fucking YouTube saw on Google was the dumbest fucking thing they could have done. Like, they fucked this shit up bad. But anyway, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are the MMA Advocates. It is Wednesday afternoon. My name is Eddie Law. Got Jesse Wacaba out of LA. Dayton, Ohio's very own Fred Kirby. And out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, Dave Rodriguez. Fellas, we just had a big fucking event. UFC 211 ended up being a pretty all-around good event. I mean, I think maybe the prelims might have been a little more exciting for the most part. But main event was legit, man. And the co-main event, I mean, we haven't seen, I don't think we've seen a more dominant performance, in my opinion, as far as Joanna Champion is concerned. We'll get into that, of course. But let's start off with, of course, UFC 211. The Jason Knight. Let's start off with Jason Knight, because I know that's one of Dave's favorite guys. The no tough bastards type of cats. Third round TKO. Finished Chas Skelly in a nasty way. That was a good fucking fight, though. What you think about that one there, Dave?
Man, a hell of a fight. More than likely, you know, my personal fight of the night, you know, going into it and then everything that unfolded. Big time win on the side of Jason the Kid Knight. Chas Skelly, never been finished before, you know, a known submission specialist. Got one of the fastest submissions in that division. So, yeah, man, Jason the Kid Knight shining. With a late finish, man, I mean, this guy, I think he talked about it post-interview. I mean, I don't know if you guys knew that he has that deviated septum. So at some point in the fight, I mean, it's problematic for him, you know what I'm saying? So this guy's only going to get better. I think he's going to get that operation or that procedure done to clear that up. And he's only going to become more dangerous at that weight class. So I think he was oddly calling for or Artem Lobov after that fight, but he has been trying to lobby for that Doo Ho Choi fight. We all know Choi's fighting Andre Fili, but I wouldn't mind a fucking Darren Elkins against Jason Knight fight. Imagine what kind of shit would go down there. So,
man, you want to fucking get everybody killed. You're just like, let's throw the zombie at everybody until he dies. Which I'm not even against it. I'm not even against it, to be honest with you. I kind of want to see what Darren Elkins can like stand up to what a Knight throws at him. So that's
yeah. I mean, who do they really match him up with next? I mean, the guy's is coming. He's a killer, man. He's only like 25 years old, so no, not necessarily fast tracking the guy. He's asking for a bigger challenge each time. So I mean, the Choi fight would have been fantastic against Artem Lobov. Let's get him in there against Brian Ortega. Let's get this shit flowing, man. The 145 division gets more and more interesting each time we see these top 10 guys, in which Darren Elkins, Jason the Kid Knight, they're right there close in rankings, so I could easily see that matchup happening. But top 10 shit from Jason the Kid Knight, very impressive stuff.
Definitely.
Wait. Why not against Artem Lobov?
What?
Well, why not against Artem Lobov?
Because Lobov's coming off a loss.
Okay, but what did he had a 4-0 record before that? He had kind of a win streak going. Plus he was a main event guy. Plus he has the Connor thing. I mean, that sounds like a good enough recognition fight. I'm not saying it's gonna be a good like strategic fight. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying it's gonna be like something that's gonna light anybody's career on fire. Yeah. But it definitely will prove something, because look at what Cub Swanson had to go through to beat Artem Lobov. So imagine him being able to beat him in almost that same fashion or a much more brutal fashion and knocks out Artem Lobov. What does that do for Jason Knight his career? I mean, that blows him up and puts him in a better position.
Yeah, I would say so, because I mean, I've been out Artem Lobov, so I guess if they do match those guys up, yeah, it's some good shine to be a good quality win. Say Knight is able to finish him, because man, Jason Knight goes in there and is looking for the finish. I mean, this guy is like, he's coming into his own. Like I said, still very young, but the 145 division, we're going to see a lot of things, a lot of pieces to the puzzle come together when Max and Jose do their thing in just a few short weeks. So.
Yeah, did anybody else get thrown off by the Confederate flag shirts? I thought that was for a trip. Like, I didn't understand what they were for a second, then I realized it was a Mississippi shirt.
It's a Southern thing. What are you gonna do?
Like it just caught me off guard for a second. Yeah, it caught me off guard. I was like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" And then I like someone explained. I was like, "Oh, I got it. Cool. All right."
Cool. And also,
I'll tell you what,
fellas, I was gonna say, don't forget about Jason Knight. He mentioned in the fight he had nothing but respect for Chas Skelly, because apparently he broke his arm in the first round. Yeah. He heard it pop several times. So in the end, he was nothing but respect for Chas. Tough motherfucker. So yeah, I like that in a victory that Jason Knight's real. You know, he's the real deal, man. Watch out for that cat. He's dangerous as they come at 145.
I tell you what, man, I fucking really like this fucking character, Jason Knight. And I love that they call him the Hick Diaz, because I think that really personifies who he is, and how he acts and in how he fights. I tell you what, his fucking transitions and his BJJ was fucking nasty and on point. In that fight was dope. But I tell you what, man, as far as where he goes next, I'm going to take a bit of a different angle from everything y'all are saying, man. Like this kid, I think he's got a lot of value. We move guys along way too fast. It took him a minute to finish Chaz Skelly. And don't get me wrong, Chaz Skelly's a bad motherfucker, but he's not necessarily a real top 10 guy. Why not let's take Mr. Knight along relatively slowly. Give him another cat along the lines of Chaz Skelly's and let him stunt, let him show out, let him get a couple really nice highlight performances, man. I mean, if we've learned anything from fucking organizations like Bellator or organizations in Japan and shit, with letting guys look impressive with lesser competition. You know what I'm saying? So you got a guy like Jason Knight who's got a lot of potential. We don't got to rush him, man. That we know he's going to look good against. Hell, let's find him a guy that rubs him the wrong way, so he gets to talk a little trash and or two before we throw him in there with a fucking Duho Choi or even Artem Lobov as weird thing. Like Jesse said, man, the dude does have a big name value now, but why rush it? Like, let Jason Knight get a couple super impressive performances and then let him headline one of those fight night cards. You know what I'm saying? He's hella young, man. No need to rush him yet. He's got a lot of fucking growing and a lot of upside to do right now. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. I agree with you. What are you saying, Jesse?
Fred? No, I'm just saying, what happened, Fred? Usually Fred's the one that's like, yeah, put him in there. Let's go. Did that ass whooping that Yair Rodriguez really open up your eyes? Is that what happened?
Well, yeah. Well, there's been a couple things, and actually, one of the things on this card has kind of led me to thinking a bit more like this. We'll get to it, but yeah, I think I might have a change of heart with some of this shit.
No, that's what I said before the fight. Even fucking when Yair got booked with Frankie Edgar, I was like, I believed. I was like, all right, Yair's gonna be able to do it. Mostly because I was like, please fucking do it. You know what I mean? But I already knew it's like, dude, Frankie Edgar's a bad motherfucker. You want to fuck with that guy. We'll talk about that fight here in a few minutes. The other fight that ended up getting finished, that was actually kind of fun. Oh, it was sort of impressive. James Vick gets that first round TKO after looking like death and fucking everything else at the weigh-ins. I mean, this dude looks like shit weighing in. Gets in there, gets the TKO against Porter Reyes, who I thought was going to have the upper hand, and gets the TKO there. Jesse, what do you think about that one?
Man, that was an interesting fight. Like you said, I thought Polo Reyes was going to be able to pull it off, but man, honestly, was it just me, or was the prelims almost more exciting than the actual pay-per-view? I mean, I just thought that we had a lot more action-packed fights on the prelims that we had on the main card, especially because, like we talked about, that first fight on that pay-per-view really brought the whole pay-per-view down for me.
Lord, David Branch ought to be ashamed of himself.
Oh man, that was bad, dude. It was like the momentum in that whole card was awesome, and then we hit that first fight on main card, and you're like, God damn! Even after the fucking the Poirier Alvarez thing, even after that, you were like, oh man, it's gonna be fire. David Branch and Jotko came out here and laid an egg. To be honest with you,
I'm gonna be honest with you. That fight was so bad, it almost tainted the whole card.
Almost, right?
I almost thought there was nothing else. The Jorge Masvidal and Damian Maia fight was all right, but it was coming off of such a fucking that stinker to get it started, man. Yeah, that was a bad way to start the pay-per-view. And to the UFC's credit, that wasn't planned either.
Oh yeah.
That was some old bullshit that crept up on them, but
late switcheroo, a switcheroo for sure. But yeah, that I tried to rewatch that fight, and it's even hard to rewatch that fucking fight. So
fuck that shit.
But, you know, what's the worst part about that is I think it brought the card down, and then you had the Damian Maia masterful decision win, and it just made the fight boring because you saw kind of that style, like that kind of like just kind of like neutralizing the other person's in the David Branch fight, but in a really, really crappy way. But then the way that, Damian Maia does it, which is so masterful, the way he dominates his opponents and everything, it's so awesome to see. But once you see something so boring, you kind of can't get into that gear anymore. And like Fred said, man, that start to that pay-per-view really took a punch.
And you know what? To me, let's just get into it now. Most of that, and we'll talk about Poirier Alvarez next. But most of that fucking thing, I kind of blame on Branch. You know what I mean? His second chance in the UFC, and he comes throws that in there. You know what I mean?
Listen. We've all been watching this sport for a long time.
Yeah.
We all remember David Branch from his first go-round, right?
Yeah.
And he didn't win.
If it's got stripes and growls and looks like a tiger, it's a tiger. The dude's been boring his whole fucking career. I've never seen him in an exciting. I mean, real talk. He's always been boring.
Yeah. Even in World Series of Fighting, you're right. Yeah, and they're two division champ. How happy were you with your Ray Sefo?
Yeah, and look where fucking WSOF's at. Fucking belly up behind that cocksucker. The UFC should have sent him to Bellator, Jack.
Or the Pro Fight League now or some shit. Yeah, dude, fucking, I don't know. You're right about that one, for sure. But let's step back real quick. Alvarez Poirier. Now, for anyone that didn't know, look, you fucking know. Whoever's watching this has to know by now. That fight was stopped because of illegal knees and declared a no contest. Who the fuck is gonna? First of all, who actually thinks that was a no contest fight? Real quick. Nobody, right? What a DQ, right? There should have been a DQ.
What a shit show, man. I mean, technically it was a disqualification, right? But does anybody, I don't know, does anybody think that fucking Eddie really meant it maliciously?
No.
Well, here's the thing. There's a couple theories on
No, guys. If the answer is no,
okay.
If it was not on purpose or malicious, then it's a goddamn no contest, right?
Yeah.
That was
I feel you.
Sort of.
Wait, isn't it that they go to the judges' scorecards?
No, I thought that it was up to like the referee's discretion or whatever. That if the referee feels like it was intentional, then it's a DQ. But if the ref deems it to be an accident, but I feel you though. Like if even if it's an accident, motherfucker, if you broke the rules, you broke the rules. It's still a fucking DQ. You fucking need him in the fucking dome piece twice illegally.
Yeah, but what it was,
I don't know.
Basically, what it was the Gegard Weidman of the lightweight division. It just had a different ending of it, of course. So, but yeah, man, in the heat of the battle, we know Eddie Alvarez was getting tagged the fuck up, and then he actually had came storming back, and then just in the heat of the battle in the fight, I mean, I don't think it was intentional, but where Dustin was against the cage, I mean, previous to that moment, it looked like he wanted out of there a bit much if you go back and watch that fight, but they've been going back and forth on Twitter talking shit, and we're gonna see these two do the thing again and get paid a little bit more, maybe.
Yeah, Jesse.
Wait, how was this like the Gegard fight? Because it was by the discretion of the ref. Mm-hmm. The first two shots that he took were not illegal. Herb Dean deemed them not illegal. Why? Because he said that Poirier was playing the game. And he tells everybody in the back, as the referee, if you're going to play the game, I'm going to allow you to get kneed in the face. That's what's going to happen. Don't try to play the game. Put your knee down, and you're safe. You're just trying to basically stall the fight by putting a hand down and all that. He's like, you're going to get kneed.
Yeah,
so the first two were not.
The game, was he hurt though? Because he hurt Poirier pretty good.
Right, the first two were good, but if you see, the first one he landed, hit him in the arm, then the second one kind of like bounced off of him. It was the third one when Poirier actually went down to a knee when he took it, and then that's when the referee stopped the fight. To me, it kind of sucks, but I don't think Poirier should get this decision overturned because it was in the transition of him trying to either get up or get back down when Alvarez threw the knee. He could have easily gotten and stood up from that position. Instead, what he did was he went down to a knee in the time that Alvarez was throwing the knee. So it was in that transitional phase where you could deem it as I'm trying to kick you in the inside of the thigh. You move, I kick you in the nuts. And I blow your cup or something. It's not intentional, and it was in the transition of the fight. So to me, the DQ no contest actually works here. Like I was asking Fred though, like I thought that they were gonna deem it a disqualification, then we're going to go to the judges' scorecards because they had enough. You know, they already had what 2 rounds basically.
Yeah.
You know, in the pocket. They could have gone to a decision. So I mean, it was less of a cluster, you know, of a clusterfuck than the Gegard thing was.
Oh, yeah, well.
But it's still, we just definitely need to solve this problem. Knees to the ground all the time or never.
No,
it's one or the other.
Right. So here's the question: do we need instant replay in MMA?
Well, actually, you say that, Ed, and coming from the horse's mouth, Dana White himself, he said that Lorenzo Fertitta contacted him that night. And he's like, "You motherfuckers need instant replay." So I think ideally, you know, in certain circumstances where we've seen this as somewhat of a trend in the last, like, 2 or 3 month time period. Of course, like Jesse said, the Gegard deal, Weidman, that was a shit show. I think Herb handled it a lot better. He owned up to it the next day. The first time around, it was Dan Miragliotta, right? And he totally fucked up that one. So yeah, I think Herb, he did what he could. He handled it correctly, though, in my opinion. It could have been a DQ, but the no contest is sort of, I don't know. It's weird, but we're gonna see these guys do it again, though. Like I said,
Fred, instant replay unnecessary.
Why not? I mean, shit, I don't know how much it's going to change, though. It's not like football or basketball where you can get a play overturned. If I accidentally knock you the fuck out with an illegal knee and they look at it, they're like, yep, that was illegal.
Okay.
That still don't clear the fucking cobwebs out of my brain.
Yeah, but see, if it's an illegal knee, then you could get the disqualification win. You know?
Okay, but listen, I got a problem with all that anyway. Who gives a fuck? You know what let me tell you something. You know what they should do with all this shit? When something like this happens, you know what they should do? Sign an automatic motherfucking rematch. And take your DQ, take your no contest, take all that bullshit and shove it. Because none of us are going to be satisfied with that anyways. If they call it a no contest, you're going to have people that are like, bullshit, that was a DQ.
Yeah.
If they rule it a DQ, you're going to have people going, bullshit, that was a no contest. What do we need to do? We need to run it the fuck back. They have to fight again. We have no idea who the better fighter was. We can all have our presumptions. It looked like Poirier was getting the better, but then Eddie had a flurry. We all know how crazy MMA is. One punch, the whole fight is over anyways. They have to have a rematch. Listen, I say the same thing with Gegard and Weidman. Fuck it, man. It's so controversial. There's way too many questions. Run it back. And then, you know, fuck that fight. Call it a DQ, call it a no contest. As long as y'all are going to fight again, none of us really give a shit what you call that last one, because y'all are going to figure it out in the next one. And we'll presume that the next fight won't end in another fucking weird controversy, and we'll actually find out who the better fighter is.
Yeah. No,
okay, but here's my question to you guys. So here's Poirier. He's going to the commission to get that overturned, right?
He wants that money.
He wants his money. Now, does that sound strange to any of you guys?
That he wants that money?
No. That he has to get that overturned, quote unquote, before he can get his money. Because here's my thing. The UFC, if they see somebody that gets screwed over, Dana White is in the back. He was in the building. He goes in the back and tells them, hey, you got screwed over by this decision. Don't worry. We're going to take care of you. We got you. Don't worry about it. He got nothing from the UFC. And he left the arena without talking to anybody. When he did his interview on MMA Junkie, I think, or one of those, or was it Anakin Florian or whatever, which one he was on, he had not talked to anybody. He was expecting his management to do the talking for him. And then he's like, you know what? Honestly, I'm just going to wait till next week when I go to the Fighters Summit. I'm going to talk to somebody then. Does that sound like a smart business idea? Fred, if you're supposed to get your money, you feel like you got screwed over, are you not going to talk to somebody that same day? You're not going to leave that building until you're like, hey, this is settled. I want to get my money. I want to make sure I'm going to get compensated.
But that's case by case basis, though.
But don't you?
But is it? Whoa, yo, ain't that his manager's job?
Yeah. I mean, like, I get what Jesse's saying. I get what Jesse's saying, but I'm also siding with Poirier on it because look, if Conor McGregor, let's just fucking throw it out there, Conor McGregor is gonna go get his money. If he gets fucked up, please believe he's gonna hunt down Dana White and whoever needs to be like, hey, fuck that, I got screwed and get my money, right? But is JoJo Calderwood, for example, doing that? You know what I mean? Kowalkiewicz gonna do that? I mean, it's by case basis. I think the management should have been on point with that shit.
Okay, wait. But think about this scenario. There's
What money did he not get though?
He didn't get his win bonus.
Well, man, fuck his win bonus, Jack.
On top of it too, it's a different UFC, by the way. It's Zuffa is a different UFC than WWE too.
Different UFC or not, he didn't win.
But check this out. Look at our most favorite guy in the world, Brian Caraway. When his opponent missed weight, and I think something happened with his fight, he asked, "Hey, can I get an extra?" Oh no, the person popped for drugs, right? They popped for something. He asked the UFC, "Hey guys, can I get his bonus or something?" So I double up on my bonus because I did my job, I'm clean, and they were like, "Hey, you know what? You're right. We'll give it to you." On this season of The Ultimate Fighter, they were supposed to only give him like $1,000 or something, or $2,000 or something like that, and somebody spoke up and said, "Hey Dana, why don't you double that for us?" And Dana's like, "You know what? All right, you guys do finishes. I'll double the money for you guys." You gotta talk, man. You gotta talk. You're not gonna get what you want. You're not the UFC is not gonna. And think about all of us here that have jobs. If we just sit around and just wait for a raise, is that ever gonna come to us?
Nope.
But if you talk too much, you might end up being Luke Rockhold.
Oh yeah, you can't be a total fucking asshole about it either. Right? And now you're going in the other extreme with that shit. But
you have to have a point, right? And I think we all assume that Poirier has a point. Like if he comes up to any of us or Dana White and he goes, "Hey man, look, I was winning that fight. I got screwed over. I should have gone, the DQ win." You don't think Dana White's going to be like, "Yeah, you have a point, man." Lorenzo called Dana White and told him, "You need to fix that because that boy got screwed over." You don't think that's already in the back of his head?
Yeah. Especially because it's Dustin Poirier. That guy's been around for, you know what I mean? I see what you're saying, Jesse. I agree to it. It's strange how he just stormed out and didn't talk to anybody, and we all know that. He's got the rematch brewing up with Eddie, but yeah, he's trying to pursue that and get it overturned, and we'll see what happens. Though the guy didn't win the fight, though. Like Fred was saying, he didn't win, but if it works out for him, where he gets his win bonus, that's what he wants.
Right, definitely. All right, real quick, I gotta catch up on comments on YouTube here. By the way, hey, if you want to leave a comment on YouTube, I'm reading them right now. We'll go out. We make this interactive. Make your point, throw it out there. You guys will discuss it, and you shoot the shit with us. Eastside Rider says, "Oh Jesus, of course." He goes. Eastside Rider says, "Are Jack in the Box tacos authentic if 90% of the staff is Mexican?" No. Max Reed says. "You will all be judged by God for doubting Joanna," in capital letters. So, young Reed is like, you guys are fucking assholes. Prior Rose agrees, and Eastside Rider says, talking about Eddie Alvarez meaning to throw that knee. Eastside Rider says Jones didn't mean to run that red light. So, you know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. Rose kind of agrees with what Jesse's saying. They should just give Poirier his win money behind the scenes, but he should have asked for it. You're right. And then Eastside Rider says Dustin was concussed. Very true. So it's all good points. You know what I mean? But Poirier, I mean, his management needs to step up and do. Who is his manager? Anyone know? There's there's like a handful of like big companies.
I think it's Paradigm. I think it's Paradigm.
Everyone's a Paradigm. Joanna just signed with Paradigm. She ended up talking about that shit.
It's not Malkikawa for sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's why that motherfucker.
Hey,
that's why that motherfucker ain't got his money because can't none of us name who his manager is.
Well, here's the thing. Fucking thing. Malkikawa would have been up the UFC's ass before that fight before the fighters even leave the cage, right?
Oh, 100%.
Trying to get that win bonus. Malky's fucking crazy. He might be an asshole, but he's good at what he does. All right, you got to give him that much at least. All right.
And his brother is too.
Oh yeah, I heard about his brother and I was in that shit. So I mean, I don't know anything about that dude, but they're brothers. What are you gonna do? All right, we talked about okay. So we talked about Branch and Jocko. Let's talk about Frankie Yair Rodriguez. Frank Yeager is still legit, still relevant, and Yair got fed to a shark way too soon. You're gonna give a wrestler a kicker? I mean, it's just it's Frankie fucking Edgar, man. The answer still got it. What's next for him, Fred?
Listen, man, hindsight is 2020, right?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
It's easy to look back on it and say that was a horrible stylistic matchup for fucking Yair, right? Like you said,
yeah.
Kicker, not a very strong boxer, definitely not known for his grappling, fighting probably one of the greatest fucking wrestle boxers ever, fucking ever that hasn't really lost it. Horrible matchup, man. Way too much for Yair, way too soon. But what are you gonna do, right? Like I said, man, Yair was on a big streak. He fucking made BJ Penn look like shit. Although I tell you what, puts that fucking shit in perspective, don't it?
Oh yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ. It makes the fucking BJ, you know, makes BJ look horrible at this fucking point, seeing what fucking Frankie did to Yair after what Yair did to BJ. But yeah, you know what, man? I'm gonna tell you what. I tell you what I would like to see old Frankie do. I'd like to see Frankie drop down to 35 and give me a reason to give a fuck. Cause dog, at 45 or 55, or hell, man, maybe go back up to 55. Maybe that'll be interesting. At 45, what are you gonna do? I guess if Max Holloway wins, you got Frankie right there, and that's fun and interesting. But if goddamn it, Jose Aldo wins,
I don't care to see that fight.
Ain't nobody trying to see them fools fight again, man.
Third time.
So, and
second time.
Frankie always says he can make 35 without much of a problem. That brings up all kinds of entertaining fights. Frankie and Dominic, Frankie and TJ, Frankie and Cody. If he can make 35, dog, I'd like to see Frankie at 35 all day long.
That goes to show you guys like how fucking high level and how good Jose Aldo is for what he did to Frankie back at UFC 200. Man, impressive stuff, man. But we said it going into this fight with Yair and Frankie that it wouldn't really hurt him, you know, to lose to Frankie. But just the manner in which he lost, I mean, he got totally fucking smoked.
That hurt because now you know he can't stop shit like takedowns and shit.
Yo, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Dave.
Go ahead.
But what about the fucking neglect of that goofy fucking cornerman not putting the inswell on his eye?
Dude,
I was wondering, that probably cost him the fight. I mean, he was going to lose regardless, but what the fuck, bro? Horrible mistake by the corner fucking guy.
I almost think that the corner was like fuck it, let that ice swell up and the doctor will stop it so we don't have to throw the towel in. Because I mean, he were
looking at the cut.
Huh? What was that?
Yeah. They were working on the cut when his eye was swollen. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? You're working on that tiny little cut that's under the eye. Yeah. That's not gonna bleed. Like, what the fuck, dude?
No.
Stop that goddamn swelling.
Yeah.
No, and if you remember during that what is it, between round 1 and 2, they were trying to cover up that area from the doctor because the doctor was in there and they were trying to cover it up instead of actually doing something about the damn thing. Yeah. This is why not having Stitch in people's corners is such a bad thing. When you can get the best cut man in the business to do his work, he would have been able to keep Yair in this fight, even though we all saw the writing after that fight. Yeah. But still, he could have given him that extra, you know, opportunity to keep fighting. Because that's all you want to give the fighters, right? The opportunity to continue. They took that away from him.
Absolutely.
No, I agree with that. Real quick on Twitter, Judo Ed letting us know. Oh shit, my fucking Twitter went down here quick. Oh, here it is. It says for Poirier, Denaro Sports Marketing is his manager. I haven't even heard of that dude. So yeah. But
and also to finish up with Yair though, what worries me about Yair is the way he got train wrecked, man. His eye, we all know what happened to Josh Koscheck. Never the same again. It was completely shattered. So it's going to be a long recovery for that cat. Well, if in case he does in the future take damage to that eye, it's going to be a problem at some point. And then again, man, like we all said, it wouldn't have been a horrible loss, but it ended up being a very fucking sad moment for Yair. But he asked for the challenge. And I think going forward, he's still going to ask for you know, somebody like top-notch guys nonetheless. So,
and you know what though, you know what though, I'm gonna have to say that, like, I'll toot my own horn here, but I'm glad that I said it the way I said it. There is still a train for Yair. You know, there's still that hype train that can be for him to eventually become a champion here. But this is what we needed to see this, right? That's what I said. We needed to see him go up against a guy like this and prove that he's at that level. And he's not.
He's not.
You know, he's definitely not. But this is a learning experience that he's going to learn from. I disagree with you, Dave, because the whole Koscheck fight is he got his whole orbital busted up and broken. That bone just never heals right ever again. The good thing is that Yair obviously has one of the hardest heads ever because nothing broke. Everything is good. His eye's all good.
And he's young
as fuck.
And he's young. He's gonna heal. he's gonna put that in the back of his head, and that's never gonna happen to him again. You guys watch. He's gonna learn from this. But like you said, Dave, how amazing is Jose Aldo? I think Jose Aldo won out of this night because now everybody sees just how damn good he is. He was able to stop Frankie Edgar twice, basically. Stop everything that he would have been able to do.
He toyed with him the second fight.
Exactly. Like, how amazing is this guy by comparison? And then how amazing was everything that Conor did to Jose Aldo to knock him out in, 18 seconds? So, I mean, obviously, like Frankie Edgar said, there's levels to this game. Yeah, you're still got to get to that next level.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. And I was going to talk about the Conor thing, too. It was like, fucking 13 seconds to a dude that dominates everybody. And we'll find out what he's got. You know, he's coming up. He's got Max Holloway in a couple weeks. So, yeah, just hang tight. Hopefully we'll get there. You know what I mean? You never fucking know with Joe.
Interesting question, though, for y'all. Who would y'all take if Jason Knight's matched up with Yair Rodriguez?
Ooh.
Jason Knight.
Too soon.
I think Yair on that one, honestly.
They're both, they're in age. They're about the same age, I believe, but yeah.
What you say, Jesse?
Could be.
Going for the Mexican, of course.
I am. Of course I am, dude. hey, time out. At least I'm fucking consistent, motherfucker. Shit.
Yeah,
anyway.
that's the worst argument for being a racist I've ever heard.
I'm joking. This is jokes, folks. This is jokes. Okay.
At least I consistently hate all you crackers.
I like Jason. I don't know, man. That's. I think Jason's right. It's too soon for that kind of fight anyway. So we'll see what happens. All right.
After this meeting, man, that's you got now. I apply that same thing that Fred was saying earlier. You really got a baby Yair at this point for at least his next fight. Give him something really, really easy. Maybe BJ Penn again.
Artem Lobov.
You know what's funny? Dave's got like 5 guys he throws at everybody. Kane needs somebody to come back. I got you. Elkins. What? Artem Lobov against fucking Ngannou. Ngannou needs a fight. By the way, I'd actually watch that if they made that fight. If they got crazy and there's Artem Lobov against Francis Ngannou, please sign me up. I want to watch that.
Wait, did I miss it yet, or has he mentioned his most biggest sponsor, Dillon Danis, yet?
Oh, it's gonna be good. We're gonna talk about that in a little bit because that shit was funny as shit. I actually got to watch that. All right, let's talk about the 170. Basically title. Well, kind of number 1 contender fight, I guess. Title eliminator, whatever. Damian Maia takes beats Jorge Masvidal by split decision. It was a close fight. It was actually, for me, it was a lot of fun. I mean, I thought it was gonna be over in the first round, right? Fucking, Masvidal wearing Maia like a goddamn backpack, and Masvidal gets the fuck out of that position. You know what I mean? And then he puts a hurting on fucking Maia. That was a fun fucking fight. You know what I mean? And it was pretty technical, especially on actually pretty technical on both sides. Dave, what was your take on that?
Yeah, man, it was a very interesting fight, man. I mean, we all know what Damian Maia's style, what his game plan is. I mean, the guy's won 7 fights in a row, same game plan. Nobody's able to stop that. Even in this fight, man, Jorge Masvidal knew he was going to end up in those positions, drilled a lot of those in his training camp. Maia gave him all the credit in the world as being a tough competitor and a tough out in there, and gave him a great challenge, which I do so. I mean, it's kind of strange the way I've seen the fight as far as like the judging, because like you said, Eddie, there's moments in the fight where they would disengage and Jorge would crack, and it looked like Maia was about to go out. And then when they were locked up, he had the body triangle on him for nearly 2 fucking full rounds. But it's kind of strange how the way the judges seen that, because when there was moments when Masvidal did tag him up and was in some advantage spots, he looked at that the fight could be finished at some point with just maybe a couple strikes. But Damian Maia, we all know on his end, he had Jorge tied up the entire fight, had him in a dangerous position. So really close fight. I think it was like 29-28 right on the scorecard for Maia.
Split as fuck.
So very deserving in those scorecards, because I think if Masvidal was able to do just a little bit more, where he was able to hurt him, and he did a hell of a job defending himself and hanging in there tough, and guaranteed Masvidal will be a better fighter from this fight, and also Damian Maia, because now I think Damian Maia, what they say, they promised him the welterweight title shot. We'll fucking see about that, because the guy, it's been long overdue. I think Masvidal would have got the shot if he won. Give Damian Maia, match him up with Woodley. Woodley wants that fight. Give Damian Maia his due, man. Guy deserves a shot at the gold. Absolutely, 100%.
No, definitely. Now you just mentioned it. Maia against Woodley, supposedly, right? I think Maya is in a disadvantage in this fight. I'm seriously, I think Woodley's a bad matchup for him. What do you think, Fred?
I completely disagree with you. I think
Really?
Maya's a bad matchup for Woodley, man.
Mm-hmm.
How do you prevent that little prick from getting on your back? I mean, listen,
But not getting taken down.
Good luck with that. Like, I like Maya as much as the next guy, but I didn't have a lot of quote unquote fun with this fight, to be honest with you, man. At the very end of the first round there, where fucking Jorge started uncorking on Maya's face, as much as I like Maya and I think he deserves a shot, for me, that was about the most exciting part of the fight, man. I mean, we all know that having Damian Maia on your back is a very dangerous spot, but after about the 13th and a half minute with Jorge having Maia on his back, I was pretty certain that he was going to defend the rear naked choke. You know what I'm saying? Clearly, he knows how to do it. Damian Maia is very, very good, but guys have been able to roll with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he got in and out of there. You know, Jake Shields beat that dude. It's not impossible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Roy McDonald fought a different kind of fight, but won that fight too. Jorge's got great fucking BJJ, man. He's got super good BJJ, so he was able to avoid the choke, but the fight itself was low-key kind of lackluster, man. Unless you're a super big BJJ fan and you can appreciate Jorge's defense against well, you're a BJJ guy, man. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate what it took for Jorge to avoid getting submitted by Damian. But all in all, I'm paying to see motherfuckers fight, Jack, and get hurt. Cost me $60 on pay-per-view. I don't want to see no BJJ clinic. I want to see you motherfuckers go for it. Damian Maia is great, no doubt about it. And him and Woodley, I don't know, man. I hope it ain't fucking a stinker, you know? Damian's great, but if I'm being completely harshly critical, I feel like sometimes he's a little too safe.
Yeah.
Jorge.
Yeah, do keep in mind, you guys remember,
or got the fuck off of his back and went. He might have also lost position and got his face beat in. But like, is any of us jumping out of our skin to see that fight? Yeah, he deserves it.
No.
But like, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna make that fight to fucking UFC 218 or whatever the fuck, and it'll probably have to co-main event, man. Because like,
that's not main event. You main event that, it's like 500,000 buys maybe.
Shit, in your wildest, wettest dreams, that's a fucking like 300, 335.
You think so?
I mean, fucking Tyron Woodley ain't selling shit by himself, and with Damian Maia, the human backpack, I mean, he used to be submitting fools left and right, but now he's kind of just more known for positional grappling. Trying to sell that as a pay-per-view, Jack.
And they need not forget that Woodley's coming off 2 fights that were very, you know what I mean? The previous performances speak for themselves. So, I mean, he is the champ. He's defended, and he's going to take on all comers. So I think this fight with Maia is him just taking on the #1 challenge, and that's what a champion should do. That's what George St. Pierre did. If he wants to fight George St. Pierre, that's his money fight. That's possibly the matchup, because I knew that whole Biz being GSP thing was fucking bullshit from the beginning. So there is possibly a GSP matchup for him. But need not forget, too, Woodley, he lost to a guy named Jake Shields, who can do the same kind of shit Damian Maia did, or can do to him. So I think that's where I find that fight super interesting. And I think Woodley wants that fight, unless they offer him a shit ton of money to fight Mr. George St. Pierre.
It's a good point. All right. Moving on here to the next fight, the co-main event of the evening, of course, was Joanna Jędrzejczyk earning her title back against Jessica Andrade. Look, I give a lot of credit to Jessica Andrade for walking forward. That chick never went backwards. She never turned around, nothing, right? But Joanna put a hurting on that chick. I mean, it was fucking bad. I mean, I don't know. Jesse, what do you think about old Joanna champion now?
Exactly what I said before. I mean, I just didn't think that she was going to lose this fight to, Jessica. I told you guys that Andrade's fight against Angela Hill just made me completely doubt that Andrade was going to be able to do anything to Joanna, and she really didn't. She pulled the old Diaz tactic. Just keep doing the same thing over again, even though it's not working, not adjusting the game plan, just keep walking forward. Eventually something's going to land, and it never did. real quick though, on the previous fight, am I the only one that saw that was a wash for Damian Maia? I had it all 3 rounds for Damian Maia. You guys had it a decision as well?
I had 2-1. I didn't think it was gonna be like super close, like split. But I thought Maia took the second.
It was a bit of a smoke break for me.
Was the second where he put his hands on Maia quite a bit?
Masvidal, yeah, second round.
Yeah, that was second round. I thought second round.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right. Well, but again, yeah, I just think now. What do we do with Joanna? You can't give her Rose, in my opinion, because I think Rose is not at that level yet. I think if you throw her Rose, we're gonna have a very mismatched fight. I think we might even get another, Cookie Monster or what was the other chick that she fought that she really blasted her nose off. I just don't.
Jessica Penny.
Penny,
yeah. I don't want
to. Did she just get busted for shit for like some PEDs?
Yeah, she's phased out now.
It's that retroactive testing thing that they did. They looked at her. They looked at her passport. Supposedly, so I'll explain it real quick. So there's a passport that you get that they kind of check your levels over the 4 months, and basically that is their base for all their testing moving forward. So apparently they must have tested her at some point. They looked back at her passport, and something has changed dramatically that can only be changed by some sort of drugs or something. So they can't even say that she popped for anything. They're just saying that some of her levels are way different than when they found when they got the baseline. So that's basically what she popped for.
Oh, okay.
If that makes sense to even make a big deal out of it.
USADA's fucking tripping, man. They're going back like 10 years and shit, fucking trying to find out bullshit. All right, who's next for Joanna there, Dave?
Oh yeah, man, it was a great performance for her. I think Jesse said that it would be a night where she was shining, you know what I mean? And she didn't really need to finish the fight. I mean, we've seen Joanna go in there and beat the brakes off the gals for 5 straight rounds, so she didn't really take a whole lot of damage. She had that like hematoma thing on her head. I don't know if that was caused by like an elbow or something.
That was like an extra forehead she had, man. That was fucking crazy.
Yeah, it was in the first round or so, and I think once Joanna settled into the fight around the 4-minute mark in the first round, going on from there, I mean, she was in total control, just lightning quick, just pumping that jab, that piston 1-2, and just she's doing her thing. Great footwork, maneuvered well. She knew Andrade would be chasing her, much like when she fought Angela Hill. So I think at the end of the day, when Andrade gets back to the drawing board, she knows she's got to adjust some things in her game because Joanna just really outclassed her 100% there. And where I see Andrade going forward in the strawweight division, there may be some matchups there for her. But now that the UFC's introduced the 125 division, I think she could be somebody that could maybe hold that title there, maybe defend, unless Joanna decides she wants to come up and start wrecking bitches there. So it's pretty interesting, though, man, because Joanna, she said she made history, and she's looking forward to maybe Rose, like you guys said. I don't really like that fight, me personally, but if that's the one that they want to line her up with, make it happen in Poland or so, get a big show back home in Poland. Or if, Claudia or Carolina, maybe a rematch with Carolina too. So there's a few more matchups for Joanna at strawweight. And she's continuing just to, she's untouchable, man. So I think really her next fight, when she does break the record, she may decide to jump weight classes. So she said she wants to fight, I think, once or twice before the year's out. So she's looking for a fight right now. So I think
once or twice?
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude.
All right. So that means they'll likely give her Rose, even though that I don't think Rose, they're kind of fast tracking her into another shot. But I think Joanna just totally obliterates Rose too as well. But that's just Joanna. That's Joanna violence, and we've seen it on display this past weekend.
Definitely, Fred.
You know what, man? I'll tell you what. I think I'm about to piss a lot of people off. I personally wasn't terribly impressed with Joanna Champion.
Oh, Max Reed just threw his fucking phone across
I know. I can hear everybody right now fucking telling me how I'm not a real fan, how I don't understand. Listen, man, I get that she's technically great. I get it, man. But I think as a champion, if you have a lack of finishes, it is going to come back to bite you on the ass. I don't give a shit how dominant you are. This putting it on crew. Didn't Jose Aldo just get fucking you know, terminated for his last few fights because he did this exact kind of thing where he would be clearly winning the fight, but he wouldn't get the finish, even though we all kind of thought maybe he could if he just turned on the fucking gas a little bit. I totally get that vibe with fucking Joanna. Like, yeah, she's very dominant, but what the fuck good is dominance if you don't just snuff a hoe out? Like, why is she not just killing these girls? Yes, she's so dominant. We all get it. She was terribly dominant for 25 minutes. Would she have been dominant for another 3 days?
Good point.
When would the finish have came? Like, I feel like the champions that we all really get goosebumps for, why the fuck did we all love Mike Tyson, man? I mean, let's be honest. Why did everybody love Ronda? The finish is important.
Yep.
Putting a motherfucker away, knocking them out, or making them submit, it's important. And when you're the champion, having that type of, I mean, and even Anderson Silva, I know he had a couple duds here and there, but he also intermingled it with fucking magnificent finishes of great opponents. And I feel like that's another thing that Joanna kind of lacks a little bit, is that nobody knows a lot of these girls. And even though like all the hardcores know that that was a big fight with Andrade, you know, it doesn't have the same type of luster as front kicking Vitor Belfort in the face does. It's kind of like where DJ's at. He needs those impressive finishes, or we're stuck with the kind of meh.
Okay, Fred, but then DJ has what? 4 finishes and 4 what is it? 4 and 4, right? 4 finishes and 4 decision wins in his last 8.
Yeah, he does. And 2 of those fucking finishing wins came in the fucking last round of the last minute of the last round. So it took him 24 and a half minutes of dominance to finally put the pricks away.
But he put them away, right?
No, Jesus fucking Christ. Fucked a couple whores one time too after about fucking 3 nights at the bar with them. So what, man? It took him. Listen, if he's that much better, why does it take so fucking long to terminate these people? Listen, she's dominant, but I feel like in order to really take that next step, she's got to start putting these girls away. Like, I know a lot of people are going to be like, nobody cares. She's being dominant. Yada, yada, yada. You don't get it. Man, look, whatever. I'm fucking telling you right now, if she was head kicking bitches and putting them to sleep in the 1st or 2nd round, there'd be so much more steam behind her. The fact that she's having these 5 round, it's impressive to people like us, but the dude bros just don't give a shit about things like this. You need those highlight reel finishes, man. It helps. It's impressive.
But credit to
go ahead, Dave.
Credit to Andrade though, because she's just as tough as they get at that division. So we knew it was going to be a tough task to Joanna to get her out of there. But I mean, landing the strike count that she did and her volume, it's hard to keep up with that. I mean, she could fight that style for 15 fucking rounds against any of those girls in that division. So that's what she brings to the table. But I do agree with you, Fred. I think a couple finishes that she needs to produce maybe here in her next couple bout, maybe 2 fights in a row. Yeah, Joanna's really, I mean, people are saying she's the GOAT. She is the greatest, she's the only strawweight champion, but we've seen her somewhat tested, but at some point she's going to have to finish some girls, and maybe it does come at like 125 or so. Maybe it's not necessarily 115. So we'll see it soon enough. I have a feeling. I think we see it.
A couple things in the YouTube comments here. Eastside Rider says, I would take no joy in seeing Rose disfigured. And Rose.
She would finish Rose for sure. If she fights her. Yeah.
Well, it depends on, anything can happen, but still. Priya says, because they're smaller weights, Fred really needs to shut the fuck up with shitting on my bays. I only wish for finishing power because it's hard watching girls take that prolonged beat down. Damn.
Yeah.
What?
Eastside Rider go snuff a hoe? Question mark.
Wait, isn't there only there's 6?
Things are catching on.
Right?
What up?
There's 6 finishes total in strawweight women's history, and I think Joanna has 2 of them.
Yeah, Carlos Barza, and who else she finish?
Yeah, and then also didn't Cynthia Calvillo has a finish too as well. One of them, I think, right?
Yeah. What is this idea that because people are smaller they can't get the finish? That is the most stupid, ridiculous. Listen, if strawweight women were fighting middleweight guys, then yeah, that fucking theory holds up. As long as they're fighting fucking broads their same size, then they're able to knock them out just like a fucking heavyweight man could. Like, what the fuck? Bullshit. You get the right broad, and she's gonna sleep bitches. Look at Cyborg. I mean, you know, she's probably juiced up and shit, but it's fucking possible.
Look,
She never gonna fight anybody.
Fred, you're not wrong.
No.
I have my brother-in-law at the house, and after the second round, he literally just like tuned out of the fight. And it's not that he's not a big fan; it's because he saw the same thing I saw. But I'm more excited to see just how dominant she could be. Him, he was like, "Yeah, I already see what's gonna happen here for the next 3 rounds." So he tuned out. He literally like just was like, "Yeah, okay, so this is what we got." And I get it. Like a lot of the dude bros are gonna say the same thing. They're gonna be chugging their Bud Light, chucking the cans at the cage because there ain't no finish. But I mean,
Just bleed, bro.
yeah, just bleed. But you know, I think if she was able to cut her up more, make it a bloody fight, don't you think that a lot more of those dude bros would have been more excited about that fight? You got to give credit to Jessica Andrade. I don't know what she did. She put super glue on her face, on her skin. But that chick did not even cut, man. Like, she just took it like a champ. And she did absorb some. Even she just kept moving forward. So, I mean.
Same approach.
Yeah, but listen, if you're the fucking greatest striker that women's fighting has ever seen, potentially, pound for pound, listen, you got to be able to put hoes away.
Yeah.
No, definitely.
You're the GOAT. She's the GOAT.
Talking about finishes, the heavyweight champion gets finishes like a motherfucker.
Hey.
Fucking people up.
Finished JDS, your Ohio boy there, Fred. Gets that knockout in the first round. First of all, JDS landed those 2 leg kicks on him, and now they're saying that that's a bruise. At first, even Stipe was in the cage mouthing the word fracture. I think it's more than a bruise or whatever. Is whatever you want to tell people. But he was having a hard time standing on that leg, right? So he went after JDS, finished him with a right hand that was beautifully set up, knocked him out, got him out of there. And still, how you feeling there about Stipe, Fred?
What's crazy about the heavyweight division is if he defends the belt one more time, he breaks the fucking record.
You right?
That's crazy. But you know what, man? Listen, I could take every chance to shit on fucking Joanna, but unlike Joanna, Stipe's doing the right thing, man. In the finish, that type of shit just generates interest. Now, obviously, it's the heavyweight division, so you know you're always going to have that interest. The biggest, baddest man on the planet, and whatever. But listen, first round finishes help. That was fucking great. JDS was a real opponent, man, and I still think that look what he did with 2 leg kicks. I know everybody's writing JDS off. Everybody's saying this, that, and the other thing. I still ain't writing the dude off. Stipe is a bad motherfucker, and if he lands that straight right hand on your jaw piece, you go down. Period. You seen what he did with 2 fucking leg kicks. If he didn't land that right hand, who knows how that fight ends? It's not like Junior just got dismantled. I mean, he ate a big shot and got dropped. There's not a whole lot more to say. The only thing that is interesting, and Stipe's got a really cool personality too. You know what I'm saying? He's really active on Twitter. He's got the makings to be a big star, man. I tell you a couple things here. A, if I'm the UFC, the next time Stipe fights, they got to do it in Cleveland. They got to bring that dude back to Cleveland. He was a star before. He's coming off another knockout win over a big top-ranked guy. If they bring him to Cleveland, it's going to go ham. And they need to really cook up a special opponent for him. I don't give a fuck if they go poach out Fedor or bring back Minotaur Nogueira. They need something special for this dude, even if they got to make it a freak show type deal. Like, dude needs some hype surrounding him. Like, who do you give him? And I know, David, put your fucking dick back in your pants before you scream out Francis Ngannou. I get it, but listen, that's a good fight. But we need some hype built for something. Like Stipe's kind of, oddly enough, Stipe's in a unique position now to where he needs somebody with a little steam to really build a fight. Like, you know, you could do maybe Ngannou. Yeah, but Ngannou needs a big fucking win.
Dude, Ngannou, look,
like,
Ngannou's not ready for Stipe. He's not even like JDS not said Ngannou. How about that?
I won't go that far. I won't say he's not ready for him, but I say if you want to sell pay-per-views and build that fight, he's not. He needs the Kane fight, and Ngannou needs a big name, a relevant big name to eat. Because I mean, what do we got? We got Overeem and Verdum, And I don't even if Verdum beats Overeem, I don't particularly want to see fucking that rematch either. You know what I'm saying? Like, and definitely don't want to see Overeem and Stipe again. So go ahead.
I got it for you then. Since we all assume that this fight isn't going to happen, why not put DC into that fight and make it an epic fight? Make it 2 champions, a guy that never lost in the heavyweight division, back at the heavyweight division, trying to attempt to stop the guy from breaking the record at the heavyweight division. DC against Stipe.
Whoa! Who assumes that the John Jones fight ain't gonna happen? You hating Mexican motherfucker!
It's very possible.
It's fine.
Come on, man.
Wrong? It's fine. Nothing's wrong. John's fine. His hair looks good.
Wait, do you guys hear that in Fred's voice? That's like that hope, but knowing in the back of his head it's a good chance it ain't happening.
It's not. Well, you guys are fucking hexing it already. Guys. He looks good. It looks like he's fucking snorting coke and fucking whores again.
You should be. It worked last time.
You guys make some great points. Fred's right. I think if they do want to bring Stipe back to Cleveland, they'll blow the fucking top off of what is the arena there, Fred, in Cleveland?
The Q?
Quicken Loans.
Yeah, because right now we got some playoff action going on there right now.
Yeah, well, you know we're gonna win the championship this year too, so that they can ride that train right on in, Jack.
But I think what would be the ideal situation to get Stipe even more shine? I mean, this guy is sleeping guys that are Hall of Famers, you know what I'm saying? So he's been on a tear. I don't really give a shit about Verdum or he slept Verdum in front of 40,000 of his people. So I don't want to see that rematch. I like the Kane fight. I really do. As much as I'm with you, Ngannou, I think Ngannou's time is going to come. He may even, in fact, get JDS in his next fucking fight. But there's a few low-key guys that I don't know. The heavyweight division's strange, man. Stipe's sleeping boys one after another. And if they want to give him Kane, if Kane can somehow get fucking healthy and get back into a fight, him against Stipe is a straight-up fucking war at heavyweight.
That's a huge fight.
And of course, the record, too, like you guys said, he could break the record in 3. So why not him fighting Kane, the guy who previously had that record? But, hey, it makes perfect sense. But we all know Kane, man. The motherfucker hasn't fought in a year. We want to see him back healthy, competing for the title.
Yo, let me throw something out there right quick too, since we're kind of on this topic. Ultimate Fighter airs tonight, right?
It's actually on right now.
Right, it's actually okay. True. Clearly, none of us give 2 parts that it's on right now.
Not even a little bit.
The heavyweight division has always been one of the most illustrious, right? We all have a fascination with that. Even in boxing, it's the biggest, baddest dude on the planet.
Yep.
I'll agree that for the UFC being the premier fucking fight league on planet Earth, the heavyweight division is a bit thin.
Oh, super thin.
I agree.
I propose this to you guys. Fuck about Tough no more. I think that heavyweights are so intriguing and the division is so shitty right now. If they could hustle up 12 to 16 legit okay heavyweights, tune in next season. I think that, like, if they could actually get some okay talent, like some all right, because the heavyweight division needs some blood, dog. Yeah, Francis Ngannou's cute. 9 Ngannou's. You know what I'm saying, man? The heavyweight division is so fucking dead.
Yeah, because who else do we name? I mean, Stefan Struve. I mean, who the fuck do they throw out there? You know?
No disrespect, but don't forget about Derek Lewis, guys. Come on now.
For sure.
For sure.
But too. So here's the thing. That's the cool thing about Tough.
Oh, sorry.
Tough can actually fucking, kind of build stars a little bit too, so that we actually kind of know these guys after the show a little bit, man, and we're somewhat invested in them. You know what I'm saying? Well, I think the last fucking heavyweight, the highest ranked one, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, having Kimbo on it didn't hurt nothing in big country, but still, fucking heavyweights bring in the fucking numbers, man, and the division needs some talent bad.
All right, Fred. But okay, answer me this then: can you name me at least 2 heavyweights outside of the UFC?
Their names are Russian, so I can't even say them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, man, not me, but that ain't my job, Jack. I'm sure some fat boys that can fight out there. the UFC is just going to have to get in those pocketbooks and scour the planet.
But I think that's the biggest problem, though, Fred. I think even if you do fund a whole season of heavyweights, how many heavyweights from that season, or even a top contender? One guy that everybody knew was going to win that season. Roy Nelson. That's it. All the other guys flunked out.
Oh, whoa! No, what? But Brendan Schwab, an okay fucking career.
Flunky moron that got hit too many times. Yeah, talks a bunch of stupid shit.
Hey,
doesn't know anything.
Knocked out Mirko Cro Cop. God damn it.
Damn,
Big Brown.
Have you
Jesse
seen a
getting
picture
cold
of
on
that guy?
Schwab. Who?
Have you guys seen Cro Cop? There's a picture I've seen. He's a fucking monster. Like, yeah, I'd love to see. I mean, Cro Cop's out of the game.
He's back
out of the game.
He's back on that juice, man. Good for him too. He should do that.
Jesus fucking Christ. That's my point with the Cro Cops and the Minotauros. Go find the young Cro Cop. Did Cro Cop knock up some hoes? Cro Cop running around somewhere? Find him. They found little Kimbo. All kinds of bastard kids out there running around the fucking European hemisphere.
As ridiculous as everything you just said sounds, it's fucking possible. God damn it.
There's got to be little Cro Cops, little Fedors out there. Go find those little European fucks.
Go ahead. Fucking it. All right. We're starting to run out of time here. So, Jesse, last thing.
Chuck Liddell. Bam. Bring him back. Heavyweight title fight.
You want to see dead people in the octagon, motherfucker. What's wrong with you? All right. Let's hit a couple things here because we actually have to go running out of time already. The presser before the fucking weigh-ins thing. Now, I know me and David got, and Jesse kind of were able to talk about it, but Fred, did you get to see any of that shit?
I caught some of the highlights. So listen, what did we learn? Do not talk about Kiesa's mom,
yeah,
and do not talk about DC's kids.
No. What we learned, credit to Kid Nate, Eugene S. Robinson. Everybody wants to be Conor McGregor. Everybody wants to eat. Yep.
They even dress like fucking Kevin Lee was like, oh, I don't want to be McGregor. That guy's trying to be a thug. And then he fucking spit out a McGregor word for fucking word line.
Whoa,
what is that?
Hold on though. Take that seriously for just a moment though. You believe that? Do you think that Chiesa and DC were both?
I'll say this: Chiesa wasn't okay because he legitimately got pissed off. I think DC is just embracing this whole being an asshole thing. I think if anybody played it up, it was Kevin Lee and fucking Michael Johnson trying to do that shit. That was played up.
See, I listen. We all know, y'all know that DC had a kid that died, right?
Yeah. That's his first child. Lost her.
I know that John Jones was not speaking about that kid, and it wasn't like that. The man's got kids, and he's had a child that's died.
Right.
Go as far as to say, and he's a fucking alpha bulldog fucking male.
Yep.
I kind of bought it, man. Like, both seem kind of genuine.
And it kind of, like, for Jones to say that too, I mean, it's kind of stupid because he said that shit before. He's like, oh, how are you going to tell your kids that you lost to John Jones and this and that? It's like, come on, man. Like, you guys are going to meet up. Let's just get to the fight. But I think, like Eddie said it last week on the pre-show, it was like having the fucking substitute teacher there. We know Dana White wasn't there, and all hell seemed to break loose. So,
what did John say? Does anybody even know what John said?
Yeah, he told him. He said the same thing. Jesse,
what are you going to tell your kids?
What are you going to tell your kids when you couldn't beat the great Johnny Bones? So,
yeah.
Is that really what he said? Because then DC's a moron for acting like that. Because I mean, look, all of us, like the two of us here, have kids. Me and Fred.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that I would get as fired up as DC did over someone saying, "Hey, what are you going to tell your kids that you couldn't beat me?"
Let me ask you this real quick, Jesse. Let me ask you this: what if you were looking for something to be bad about? Would you get pissed on?
If you really hated the guy.
DC was looking for something to get mad about. That fucker would just wait for him to say something stupid.
Then that wouldn't even trigger me. Just seeing him would trigger me off. If I'm looking to do something, I just look at him and be like, hey, screw you, and just go after him. Yeah. But you know what? What we learned is you don't run at Kevin Lee, right? Because Kevin Lee's going to punch you off.
Oh, hey, how beautiful was that overhand right over the shoulder? The guy trying to fucking block him. Crack. It was fucking hilarious.
See, and where it all started from too, I think DC said it like on either Luke Thomas or he went on some radio show and he said that they put him and John together like really close, and then they just began to stare each other down, and then the whole little argument began, and then Jones started mouthing off. DC, like you said, Eddie, looking for a reason to get pissed, the complete hatred for fucking John Jones. So that's what happened, and then I think Jones was saying that he was going to go about talking more shit. Like he told DC, I'm going to say it again. But he didn't say anything at the press conference. But John says that he plans to, like, this might be his way to trash talk or try to fuck with DC leading into their epic bout happening here soon.
Well, allegedly happening. I'm just kidding. Hopefully it does. I'm sure it will. Anyway, but hey, look, he's already balls deep in DC's head since the last fight. You get taken down that many times by a guy you said you were going to take down repeatedly. You only got him down like twice. And at the end of the fight, you know what I mean? He's already balls deep in there. That's what I'm saying. DC was looking for a reason to get fucking lit up and pissed off. And he's already mad, just like, he was already pissed off, so he got in there all crazy. But the whole pressure thing, the Shevchenko Nunes moment at the fucking at the face-off, where Nunes put the hand on there and pushed off. Did anybody see Valentina touch her? Because I didn't see that shit.
No,
I didn't. Okay, all right. Then Nunes was like, she touched me. And I'm like, big bullshit. You just trying to get out McGregor-ish on this shit. So is that the new fucking thing? Is that the new way to hype up your fight? Instead of being like, you're a bad motherfucker, my name's Anderson Silva and I've been KO motherfuckers something, right? We went from that to having hype up with shit talk. You know what I mean? Yeah. This is the new standard now.
No, you know what, Eddie? What I really think is that I legitimately think that Amanda Nunes, I wouldn't say is afraid, but fears losing to Shevchenko. I think she sees that fight as a potential loss for her. And think about it. How many times have we seen guys or women that are dominant and then get in front of somebody that they just know is not an easy fight, is actually more than likely gonna be an L for them? They get weird. Ronda Rousey with Holly Holm out of nowhere, talking to her. Jones DC, Anderson against Chris Weidman. When the initial stare down, I mean, Anderson Silva tried to talk, and then Chris Weidman just calmly was telling him, "We'll see tomorrow. We'll see tomorrow."
And kissed him.
Anderson Silva, super nervous in that fight, in those face-offs. So I think this is actually telling of where Amanda Nunes' head is at.
Yeah, I see that. I like that you say that, Jesse, because I look for that all the time, whether it's these fucking pressers or it's the actual weigh-in. I look for shit like that, even upon them walking to the cage. So you see that. We've seen it time and time again. So great point there. As we know, Shevchenko and Nunes is going to be wild. And I think Shevchenko's got a good chance of becoming the champion that night.
All right, fellas. Since we're running out of time here, we have any fight bookings?
Yeah, there's a couple fight bookings. Also, on the top, on that the presser, low key, Cynthia Calvillo matched up with Joanne Calderwood. Dope fight there. I think, me personally, I think Cynthia Calvillo is going to go in there and train wreck Joanne Calderwood. So I think she's doing big things for sure. Also, they added the Korean Superboy. Like I said earlier, he's fighting Andre Fili. That's been added to UFC 214. That's the only other fight besides Jones Cormier that's slated for 214 right now. The same thing with the press conference, Justin Gaethje, Michael Johnson. We know they had their little heated exchange, and they're trying to build that fight up too as well. That's going to be, I think, the headliner of the Tough 25 finale, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Gunnar Nelson fighting in Scotland against Ponzinibbio. So Ponzinibbio, where he's at in rankings, he's right there with Gunnar. Good matchmaking, good setting over there in Scotland for Gunnar. He's got a lot of support over there. We all know that. So. And then also, Eddie's fighting Chris Weidman. Do not forget.
I'm not scared, motherfucker.
No.
But yeah, Gasly and Weidman, they're the only ones that actually acted civil for the most. They're actually one of like 5 fighters. The 2 other 5 fighters that acted civil the entire time. They actually like hugged and shit. So whatever. Anyway.
And it's in New York too. It's the Long Island show, so it's
that's not
like
good for Weidman, man. That's bad for Weidman.
Yeah, that New York curse just keeps haunting that
he's
man.
appealing. He's appealing that fight against Gegard, right?
Weidman is like that has that crazy girlfriend that he keeps going back to, and we're all like, come on, stop going to her, stop going to her. And he's just like, no, it's gonna out this time. Real quick before you end the show, Eddie.
Yeah.
I know Fred and I both have kids, and I know I'm speaking for myself, but maybe Fred will give me the thumbs up on this. But Nicotone, having a child die out of nowhere like that is heartbreaking. So I would like to say my sincerest condolences to him. Having a kid die of SIDS is probably the biggest fear that parents have. I know you guys, Dave and Eddie, you guys don't have kids, but once you find out that that's possible, that is quite possibly the biggest fear you have in your entire life. And once you can get past that stage of like that could possibly happen, you actually breathe like a sigh of relief. So knowing that somebody went through that, that's a part of this community, this is really sad. So I just want to send my condolences to his family.
To who was it? Sorry.
Nick Catone. He's a trainer for Frankie Edgar. He's over there with those Long Island.
That's right. You're right. Nick Catone. Yeah. Sudden infant death syndrome is not a fucking joke, man. It's just a scare. It's like just because I've done a little research on it and shit, and that's like, to me, that's like one of the scariest fucking things. You know what I mean? For like a child to just be gone just out of nowhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like I don't have kids. I don't have kids, but that's enough to scare me into like thinking twice about having any kids. Like for real. Like, you know what I mean?
Frankie dedicated his performance that night to Nick Catone. So props to Frankie, always a class act, holding it down. Looking forward to maybe seeing him maybe in a title fight. Who knows? Aldo and Max. We don't know if Aldo's known to fucking pull out a fight. So I want that fight to happen so bad. So fucking A, Aldo, man. You and Max got some business to handle here in a few weeks, and that's the next big card. So we all know Gus is taking on Glover this weekend. Rory's Rory's got a fight too. Do not forget Paul Daly, Rory McDonald. So there's some action this weekend, and I think the Stockholm card is low-key pretty damn good card if you look at the rundown on that one. So
yeah, definitely. All right, fellas. I think fucking Fred's phone must have died, so that's it for him. All right, you can follow Fred at Kirby_MMA. Dave is at Dave's MMA Brief. Jesse's at SWAT 1983. I'm at Elaw31. Pages at CrossBonesMMA. Also, we're on iTunes is fucking caught up finally. I know I'm slowing that shit, but now I actually got time to do this shit tonight. So after the show's over, I'm gonna get on uploading that motherfucker, so it'll be up to date hopefully every fucking time. So look for that show in the morning or in the afternoon, depending on when iTunes decides to act right and refresh that shit.
And also shout out to Max Reed taking on in 2 days' time. Max will be doing his thing down in Thailand.
Our boy is going to war for the first time. His first training, like his first big training camp in Thailand, and he takes a fight. Bad motherfucker. If you guys haven't seen it, we did talk to him on Saturday, myself and Brett Kirby on Keyboard Warriors. Just go into our videos on CrossBonesMMA.com and or even on iTunes. Subscribe. Make sure you subscribe on iTunes. And his story is it's incredible. Like it really, like he's a young cat. I got like I don't know, I forgot exactly how old he is, but I got at least 10 years on him, and I'm very inspired by what this kid's been able to do. Given the circumstances, the passing of our friend and his dad, I'm seriously looking forward to this fight, dude. I'm so proud of him already that he's even doing what he's doing when he's doing it, especially. But just to see him get in there is gonna be crazy. So it should be streamed. If we get the details on time, we'll put that out. We'll be on Friday. For me, I believe it'll be like I think the West Coast it'll be like 8-10 in the morning or so, maybe earlier than that, depending. So as soon as we get those details out, we'll try to get that out there for you guys if you guys are interested in watching it. If not, we'll see if there's a way to record it and try to throw it up on YouTube or something. Yeah. We'll work on that for sure for you guys. All right. But yeah, Max Reed, get in, boy. War Reed. Of course.
Also, what cunt of the week? Dillon Danis.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about Dillon Danis. Real fast, Dillon Danis. Fuck, you fucked up, son. You fucked up. All right. That shit got crazy. It didn't even get crazy. It was like a stall. It was almost like not a stall fest, but they were on the feet, hand fighting most of the time. And when they said they were playing for overtime, right? When they got to overtime, like yeah, I mean, Danis did get Jake Shields in a pretty tight guillotine about halfway through the round. And Jake Shields got out, whatever. But Jake Shields gets it by 8 seconds, man. He won by 8 seconds. And Dillon Danis ran out of the cage and then came back to do the interview. So, and then now he's afterwards. He was, he's kind of making excuses or so. Or at least Jake Shields thinks he's making excuses. So, if you didn't see that, it's Submission Underground. I believe it's on Flow Grappling. If someone didn't put it up on YouTube by now, to be honest, I'm sure someone has by now. So look that up. All right. Make sure you go to CrossBonesMMA.com. All the videos are on there. Go straight to the YouTube page, so it goes right to your videos. Get that shit on there. Definitely go to iTunes. Just search Crossbones MMA space radio. So Crossbones MMA is one word and then radio. And you'll find us, subscribe, get all our shit automatically. And of course, reptheadvocates.com. Get yourself some gear. Our boys are wearing the hat over here. Yeah, get yourself some gear. Reptheadvocates.com. Get Gear Represent gear today. And for myself,
edition gear. Yeah.
Limited edition gear. Yeah, it runs out. I don't think it's always going to be there. Right.
Yeah.
All right. So for myself, Dave Rodriguez, Jesse Rakaba, Fred Kirby, shout out to Eastside Rider, Daniel, who's on the YouTube, Pierre Rose. Someone else was on here too. Max Reed was on here earlier. Everybody that watches this, Mike Jarvis, I haven't seen him in a minute, but I'm sure he watches. Mike Jarvis, everybody, thanks for watching, and good night, Wilshire.